This is Legal Mindset about Hasan's defamation fast facts. Let's check out what Andrew has to say about this because man, he's been cooking. He's at 317,000 subscribers, and like 3 weeks ago he was at like 120. He's like tripled his subscriber count almost in 3 weeks. And this is a channel I think we all knew was eventually going to blow up. So it's great to see he's actually getting the attention he deserves. So let's see.
Hasan has slandered me, committed some defamation in response to my reaction.
Oh, by the way, you probably don't want to slander a lawyer. Fun fact, you probably want to avoid doing that.
To what was going on with Twitch and the situation with Twitch. So today I'm going to respond to that publicly, clear up some of that misinformation, and also talk about some hot water that Hasan may be in legally in the state of California. Of course, I'm Andrew Esquire, American attorney, and this is the Legal Mindset. We teach you to be your own judge. So typically my policy overall with defamation, with people that engage in defamation, is just to ignore it, is to pass it by, is to really pay it no mind, particularly if they're smaller channels and smaller people, really to ignore that at large. However, when a channel of 1.7 million people spreads false information about yourself, clearly not having watched a single one of my videos or really knowing much about me, it seems, other than what the most deranged antis might try to cook up, there is some need to respond to that. And also, there is a need to bring up some very real legal trouble that Mr. Piker may be in regarding California, especially as some individuals look to come against him. So first of all, we're going to start by reviewing the defamation itself. And this does come in the form of a video for you guys. And this is Hasan kind of responding to his chat and talking about me and why he's not going to review my videos. And I just want to start out by saying I love the fact that you're going to see immediately how he jumps to ad hominem, because ad hominem were personal attacks
with straw man arguments, which is what he did when he was talking about me, when he had no idea what he was talking about. He's so out of his element, it's not even funny. It's kind of like impressive to see a large content creator get caught being a fraud of pretending they know what's actually going on when they're an idiot. And this is straight up what's happening with Hasan lately.
When used as a debate strategy or when used to rebuke someone, actually represent a concession. That actually means you are incapable of making a legal argument or an objective argument or an informed argument. Or
oh, you missed that, the Popo? I covered it. It was a very long reaction video. It's published on Smash JT Live. I think it's like an hour long, where I react to him reacting to a video talking about me, and his take is just terrible.
In any sort of educational argument, you're simply trying to discredit someone personally to get around the fact you lack the capacity to actually argue. And so I actually don't take offense to that. I'm very used to it, having been on the internet for years now. So we'll get into this video.
Like, if you're on the internet for years, you should probably expect conversations about you, and people are going to have takes that you're not going to like. And they're going to be really mean. And they're going to say things that are out of context. It's just, shit's going to happen. It's drama that happens. But when you start suing people over it, it's like, bro, what? You're not special. You're not a special snowflake that can sue people over other people's opinions. That would completely destroy the entire infrastructure of the internet.
Oh, and the thoughts by Mr. Piker.
Dude, there's something so funny about people being like, dog, have you seen the Legal Mindset video about you? Dude, if I were to cover every Rumble lawyer, fake lawyer that it actually is.
So let's stop right there.
Fake lawyer.
Okay, so Rumble Lawyer is very interesting. And I think he may mention Rumble again. While I do have, I guess, still a Rumble account, I haven't uploaded it to years. I don't stream on Rumble. I only stream on YouTube, primarily as a major platform. I've tried the others. I don't like them. Rumble, just as a comment, initially offered a very good package contractually to stream on their platform, good advertising packages. That fell off way back towards the COVID days. So yeah, that's kind of a weird thing. Now, fake lawyer is interesting, and I want to throw out here that that's possibly the most defamatory thing. Now, I want to give Mr. Piker some credit here because perhaps he knows nothing about me or knows.
But he did say in Hasan's defense, he didn't say Legal Mindset was a fake lawyer. He was piling him, alluding to him as a fake lawyer, but not saying he was the fake lawyer. So it's like two kind of different things.
Nothing about the law. Well, clearly he knows nothing about the law or what words mean. A lawyer is anybody with a law degree, whether or not they're licensed and practice law. So anybody who's gone to law school is indeed a lawyer. Now, attorney is someone above lawyer. You could say that word is perhaps not interchangeable.
Wait, I didn't know that. Fun fact. So if you go to law school, even if you don't pass the bar, you're technically a lawyer? Or you have a law degree, I guess, which makes you a lawyer, but you need to pass the bar in order to practice as a lawyer. That's probably what he means. Okay. I guess that makes sense in the technical definition of it, but I never really thought about it like that.
Changeable, but similarly related insofar as they're not only a lawyer, not only do they have a law degree, but an attorney has to be licensed to practice in their state. I'm licensed to practice in the state of Florida. So I am both a lawyer and an attorney above that. So thinking about that logically as a little bit of education, all attorneys are lawyers, but not all lawyers are attorneys. So there you go, Mr. Piker. That's a language. So that statement is indeed false. Right, that I am a quote unquote fake lawyer because I indeed possess a law degree from the University of Florida. So that statement in the future would be defamatory. And with Mr. Piker, we do have to remember, and with myself and other figures, is that we are all public figures. So we follow the New York Times versus Sullivan standard. We have a higher standard for defamation than the normal private individual. So
you listening, Alyssa? Are you listening right now? I feel like this would really be important information for you right now, specifically. Are you taking notes like you always are?
Now that that's been clarified publicly for Mr. Piker and that he will well know that information is false and defamatory, to continue to do so would perhaps incur liability on the part of Mr. Piker. But let's continue to see what he has to say about me. This is fun.
Like a fucking right-wing freak that spends most of their time talking about like trans people.
Right-wing freak. What even is that? A right-wing freak?
Bull.
By the way, I only started saying left-wing lunatics as a retort to Alyssa calling me a right-wing extremist. I'm like, okay, we're gonna start saying that about people. Well, we'll go right back with what you're doing to me. Throw it right back at you. But these words are all meaningless. Like, it's completely meaningless.
Very interesting. So I will say this. Most of my time talking about trans people, the issues I have been covering lately have been the Ethan Klein lawsuit, have been Johnny Somali, have been Vitali.
What about trans people as he talked about?
Now, unless you are counting something with Somali or Vitali as a trans issue, which I would struggle to understand how that would fit in, then yeah, that's not at all what my content has been about for the past years. So very interesting thing. Also, I keep politics out of my streams, and it's particularly over the last year. 6 months.
He does a great job, by the way, of keeping politics out of streams, just giving his honest feeling from his standpoint. It's wild to me when someone doesn't understand who they're talking about, when they just make these assumptions about other channels. Like Hasan, when he's tried covering me, he had no fucking idea what I am, what I do, because he's never watched me before. And he's doing the same damn thing with Legal Mindset. It's wild.
Definitely last 6 months and a year, I have endeavored to keep my streams as objective and educational and make it a environment where everybody is welcome. Even people who like Hasan Piker are welcome in my chat, so long as they are civil, so long as they keep the conversation from violating the terms of service of the platform, because I indeed do care about abiding by the terms of service of the platform. That is, you are welcome in my chat, whether you're right, left, center, whether you're apolitical, whether you don't care about politics. It doesn't matter at all to me.
And that's a genuine take right there. You can tell he's being honest about that.
Care about the law and educating people on the law. That's the core of my channel. So let's continue.
I would lose my mind. I would have no time to cover anything else. I get it. A lot of you are drama perverts, okay? And you nut when you think about the prospect of drama.
The irony and projection is very strong with one Hasan here.
But I'm not.
I will say, I actually do not like drama. And in fact, on my channel, I try to avoid drama. In fact, even in carrying out my behaviors, I try to make sure that I am focusing more on the legal aspects of things rather than the dramatic elements, the interpersonal problems, the stuff that people did. I try to focus on the legal elements of the story. Now, sometimes to get to the legal elements, you have to give background, you have to give context, because things don't make sense in context.
Which is basically, you could argue, what Legal Mindset is doing with this video right now. People would look at this that don't know anything about it, be like, look at this guy pretending to be a lawyer online and just dealing with drama to get it clicks and attention. When in reality, it's like, no, he's just providing context to what Hasan did. That's not pushing drama. That's just, hey, I'm going to talk about this because this guy slandered me.
Without context. However, yes, I would agree with Hasan that I don't like drama, but what Hasan tends to define as drama, and what it appears he's defining as drama, is anything that disagrees with the things he's doing. So by somebody saying what you are doing is objectively risking lawsuits, it's objectively wrong, or for example, saying that, hey, your orbiters, Denims and Frogan, they're going to lose under copyright infringement. Here's the explanation of the law. Apparently, that's drama, to objectively educate people on the law. That's a new definition of drama to me. And I don't know what you guys think, Chad.
Going to pay any mind or any attention to some fucking psychotic MAGA lawyer, not a real lawyer, but a passport bro.
So, okay, that's real interesting. Once again, he repeats the defamation, saying I'm not a real lawyer, which is indeed wrong. And it's interesting. And MAGA,
bro.
of course, don't bring up politics. That I've never talked about that at all recently at all. But beyond that, passport bro is interesting. Because the definition of a passport bro is typically someone that would visit a location for a short period purely for sexual purposes. And for anybody who knows anything about me, I'm a long-term resident of several countries in Asia. I've been a resident of the Republic of South Korea, the Kingdom of Thailand, the Philippines, and Japan. These are all wonderful, amazing.
He's been in the Philippines for the better part of the past couple of years, as far as I understand. I didn't know he was around everywhere else too. This guy's everywhere, worldwide.
Countries, and I do help people obtain legal visas and legal residence long-term in these countries because they appreciate the culture, the lifestyle, the quality of life, the peace, the safety, the tranquility. These are amazing things about living in Asia. And another amazing thing is that, unlike America, and this may be surprising to Hasan, it is not as easy to get away with being an illegal migrant to these countries. So if you try to illegally migrate to Japan or Korea, very good luck to you, sir, because likely you will end up in the cell next to Johnny Somali, aka Ramzi Khalid Ismail, if you try that in Korea. It's not going to go well for you. So I would insist that perhaps the only person that perhaps between the two of us would be a passport bro is the individual who visited Berlin solely for the purpose of going to a brothel. But that's neither here nor there. Let's continue.
Who offers fucking courses on becoming a passport bro, who primarily fucking streams on Rumble.
Neither one of those things are true. Yeah. I do not have a single course on becoming a passport bro, and I do.
He streams on YouTube.
Not primarily stream on Rumble. I only stream on YouTube. So
I was confused.
Yeah, there we go.
Why do you guys come in here and ask for this stuff? It's never going to happen.
And you can tell Hasan's like squeamish. He's squirming around. He doesn't even know what to say. because he knows he's wrong. And instead of admitting he's wrong, he just bounces around and starts saying random accusations.
And that's the great point. I'm going to leave it right there. It's never going to happen because Hasan lacks the capacity to actually address real issues and to actually respond to legal or objective arguments, because he's incapable of doing that. Not only because he's not a lawyer, even a non-lawyer can make an argument, can make a policy position, can say this should be this way for
He hasn't done the
XYZ,
research.
but because
He
he
doesn't
needs
know.
to discredit others
Mhm.
by ad hominem in order to try to win an intellectual argument. And frankly, that's at the lowest level of argumentation. But one thing he really can't argue with is the law. And in fact, there's a California law, which was pointed out by a California lawyer friend of mine, where that shows that he may have violated this statute, 653.2. involving electronic cyber harassment. So this is the statute which reads, every person who with the intent to place another in reasonable fear of his safety. So if you have the intention to scare somebody else, to place them in fear of their safety.
Like when you sue someone and then dox their address and redact your own, would that be intent to place another person in reasonable fear for his or her safety, Alyssa?
Or the safety of that person's family.
Or my family? Interesting.
By means of an electronic communication device,
A lawsuit shared on social media,
a computer, or a cell phone, and without the consent of the other person.
Didn't tell me about it. Okay.
And for the purpose of imminently causing that other person unwanted physical contact, injury, or harassment.
Interesting.
By a third party, electronically distributes, publishes, emails, hyperlinks, or makes available for downloading personal identifying information, including but limited to a digital image of that other person, or an electronic message of a harassing nature about that other person, which would be likely to incite or produce that unlawful action. So he put out that photo and he engaged in those actions with the intent to instill fear in that other individual. So that individual could look into contacting California law enforcement, could look into that pertaining to Hasan and take action thereby. Very interesting and something for him to worry about, but of course, only if he addresses the real issues. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and I'll catch you on the next one.
Interesting. Great video by Andrew, as always. He's a banger channel to follow. I'll share this in the chat. If you're not familiar with them, please give them a watch. And if you enjoy them, give them a sub. But as far as the situation regarding legalities and YouTubers or content creators in general, I think it's comical one content creator trying to sue another content creator for mean words being said when the words that are said are factual based off of the information available. And Andrew did a great job breaking that down right there. So banger video. Thank you again to Hypnotic and Rapture for the heads up on that one. I appreciate you, bro.